Right then, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Assetto Corsa Offline Championship here for round number 13 of the 2020 Formula One World Championship here at Mexico City at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez for the Mexican Grand Prix. Yes, Formula One returns to Mexico. We are back here for the second season in a row or the third season in a row, my apologies, as Formula One heads to the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. It's great to be back here as we have 12 minutes of the first stage of qualifying ahead of us here, Samuel Tuscan being the first man out. In the commentary booth today, it is me, your commentator as always, me and FG, going solo this time as Jamie is unfortunately not here with me. But yeah, Tuscan just about to start his lap. As he will start his lap, I will get you through the track. So, the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez, originally called the Autodromo Magdalena Mijuca when it was opened back in 1959, the track was renamed in the 1970s after the racing brothers Ricardo and Pedro Rodriguez, who both raced in Formula One and would unfortunately pass away in racing accidents. The track was renamed in their honor. Formula One, as previously mentioned, has come here, and it would first come here in 1962 as a non-championship event. However, the following year, it became a full World Championship event in 1963 and remained part of the F1 calendar all the way up until 1970, but it was dropped off the calendar due to spectator overcrowding. It returned in the 1980s eventually, after a few renovations, but once again safety concerns were the main issue as the track was dropped off the F1 calendar in 92. The track saw, after F1's exit, the track mostly saw Continental Series, stuff like kart and the NASCAR came here after a subsequent renovation in 2001, and in 2012 it was announced that Formula One will be coming back here in 2015, and it has remained on the calendar ever since, with the exception of 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic. But since we are a bit more free to select our tracks here, we are gonna go here. But this layout, which has remained since 2015, is 4.3 kilometers long, 17 turns, and a race lap record of 1:17.7 set in 2021. The track, which is one of the tracks with the highest elevation of any track on the F1 calendar. It's running so high that a lot of things, especially engine power, is slightly running down here due to how high above sea level we are at the moment. But the track features a lot of tight corners and one of the most diverse and complex sectors, I have to say, on the F1 calendar. Sector 3, namely the stadium section, which is loved by drivers and fans alike. But the track features a lot of sharp corners, but a lot of flowing corners as well. So it's really got a mix of everything to offer for all the drivers. As the times are now coming in on the board then, here for Q1. There goes Thomas Mandic across the line. Victor Albon with quite a good lap there in P9 as well. Josef Frederik Schuto will go up into 15th. Dennis Graf is only in P15 at the moment, as Giulia Cisetti will be the final man across the line. Fernando Tost goes up into 4th, as that is the first 20 times on the board then. And at the moment, it is Jesper Johansson who does lead Dennis Pratsky in Q1, followed by the two Ferraris of Laban Zasnishka in P3 and Luca Farina in P4. Farina, who drove for Ferrari here last season, actually. He was filling in for Miran Evgi, the injured Miran Evgi, who missed the Mexican Grand Prix. And he would actually go on to take his first and only pole position at this track. So lots of good memories at this track for Luca, and we'll see if that qualifying performance will be able to carry on into here once again, as Zasnishka currently is in 3rd. But yeah, Ferrari looking really, really good at the moment. as Dennis Groff is able to lift himself out of 8th, and that sees the elimination zone currently consisting of Jafari Blackwood, followed by Josef Fredrik Schuto, Wojtek Kulasek, Julia Cisetti, and Kai Cherezhny. I got the last two wrong on the order, but Kai Cherezhny is one to talk about, as he's all the way down in 19th. We'll see if he's going to be able to prove, as his teammate Tomas Mandic is currently running 3rd at the moment. The man who has gone on a bit of a podium drought since round 5. We'll see if he's going to be able to maybe secure a lucky podium in these last 4 races of the season, as the championship is getting very close. Mandic looking to finish best of the rest, obviously, this season. Currently lies 20 points ahead of both Lewis McIntyre from McLaren and his teammate Kai Cherezhny. So Mandic, I have to say, has been nothing short of excellent this season when it comes to his performances. Dennis Groff goes up into P6. Not bad from Groff, as his teammate Klaus is down in 10th. So Alfred Klaus not having the greatest of times either at the moment, as unlike his teammate, Klaus has actually been on a podium streak in these last 3 races. Dennis Groff has been outside of the podium in these last 3 races, which has led him to a 23-point deficit to Jesper Johansson, as Wojtek Kulasek now goes up into P5. So nice stuff from the Czech man. But yeah, Dennis Groff, it really hasn't been the late season results that the German has been hoping for, as his results ever since Mugello have just not been there compared to Jesper Johansson, who's been absolutely acing it in these last 5 races. Been on the podium in every single race, which I have to say is absolutely fantastic from Johansson so far. But he currently holds a 23-point lead, and to think that a few races earlier in the season he was 30 points behind Dennis Groff, that is absolutely incredible to think that he's able to claw back that performance. Granted, Groff did DNF at Mugello, but still, he's done a fantastic job. And Parachki, who has had an incredible run of form as well, especially that race win at Portimao, he is now only 1 point behind Dennis Groff at the moment, and 24 points behind his teammate Jesper Johansson. So if Parachki continues his good run of form in these last 4 races, we could have an Enes Parachki title bid on our hands, which is nothing short of fantastic for the Macedonian at the moment. As we have about we don't have much remaining in the session then. We've got about 3 minutes on the clock. Kai Cherezhny worryingly still in the pit lane, as Enes Parachki, speaking of devil, now goes fastest. He gets himself into the 121s along his teammate Jesper Johansson, and takes the fastest spot. Obviously Q1, as I've always said, is really just for the top teams, nothing short of doing some scouting laps and trying to get used to the setups and whatnot. So we'll see what's going to happen. As going up into 3rd, it is Laban Zasnishkai with a 122 flat. Great stuff from Zasnishkai, as Emil Nilsson goes up into P6. Very, very well done from the Estonian, who's impressed so much this season, scoring Alpha Tauri's first ever podium. Absolutely incredible from the Estonian. As Wojtek Kulasek is currently in 4th, he comes into the pit lane to abort his lap. Lewis McIntyre then 13th. He'll be needing an improvement as well, as he just starts his lap, currently P13, behind Victor Albom, who's doing a fantastic job at the moment, there in P12. Daniel Wale in P15, albeit he's been outpacing teammate Konishina this season. He is reportedly unhappy with the performance of Alfa Romeo this season, especially considering their performances last season. He sees it as a bit of a letdown to what he was expecting. as Klaus goes up into P5, now looking to be a bit more of an improvement for the Swede, as he does beat his teammate. Victor Albom up into 11th. He's actually beat Fernando Tost. So Albom looking very, very good on pace here in Q1. As Giulia Cesetti does improve as well, however, she will stay in dead last, unfortunately, for her. Daniel Wally goes up into 14th. It's going to be P12 for Jafari Blackwood to make it 2 Hasses into Q2 at the moment. Lovely stuff from Jafari Blackwood, who I have to say, even though he has gone pointless the entire season, bar the Nürburgring race, he has done very, very well. As Luca Farina now goes up into 3rd, and he's actually into the 121s along with his teammate. I didn't think I'd be saying this, but the pecking order right now looks to be Mercedes and then Ferrari, who've been having an absolutely dismal season. They may be on for some very, very good qualifying results here if these performances carry on into Q2 and Q3. Farina will be feeling very good about himself as well. Same with Laba, as Farina is only a 10th off Jesper Johansson, so this may be quite a strong place for Farina as Klaus goes up into 2nd. So Alfred Klaus looking a bit better as the checker flag has fallen. Cesetti is in, so she is into the pit lane, but out of qualifying. Fernando Tost goes across the lines. No improvement for Tost. What about Daniel Walla? Kind of gets up a bit more safer. He can improve, but he will stay in 15th at the moment. As Lewis McIntyre will now have to do his absolute best to get himself out of Q1, especially considering McIntyre is fighting Chereznia and Gamba for P6 in the championship at the moment, and McIntyre can't do it, and Lewis McIntyre will be out here at Q1 in Mexico. He'll be starting P16, and that is really not what the McLaren driver needs. Cherezny has been able to lift himself out into P14, so Kai will just make it through. What about Cherezny's fellow compatriot Emilia Konichina, who is going to round the final corner? Let's see what Konichina is going to be able to do here. It's P14 for Emilia, and that knocks Daniel Wale, her teammate, into the elimination. So what about Josef Fredrik Schuto? Schuto cannot improve. Here next up is Samet Özkan. Özkan's going to go across the line. He does not manage an improvement, and Özkan will be out as well. Labas Nishkai is across, and he doesn't improve. What about Fernando Tost, who already is through? So we'll see if he's going to be able to muster up improvement. And that is the session over, and Q1 is done and dusted. Enes Parachki leads Alfred Klaus in Q1, and your bottom 5 will be Daniel Wale, followed by Lewis McIntyre, Samet Özkan, Josef Fredrik Schuto, and Giulia Cesetti. Q1 over then. Main talking point will obviously be Lewis McIntyre starting all the way down in 17th. Really not what the Brit needs at the moment here, especially fighting for the midfield at the moment, considering both Cherezny and Gamba have made it through into Q2, and he'll be starting all the way down in 17th. He's going to have a lot to do in the race. Daniel Wall as well did get quite unlucky there in the end with his teammate Konichina knocking him out at the end, so he just misses out on Q2, which is a shame. But yeah, one other team to mention is Haas. Well, both of their cars are into Q2, so a very, very good qualifying result immediately for them, Albom and Blackwood, who did fantastically in Q1. We'll see if they'll be able to carry that pace onto Q2 and maybe deliver something very, very nice to their team. Ferrari are looking very good as well, as Asnishka and Farina were very, very close on pace with Red Bull and Mercedes, which is really something I previously said. It's really something I didn't think I'd be saying heading into this qualifying session. But they might be on for a good result here. But obviously now, some teams might start to kick it into gear and try and show their true performance here in Q2. as Emilia Konishina, the lone Alfa Romeo, is now out on track. The third Polish driver to make their start in Formula 1 and the second female driver to compete in F1 alongside Giulia Cesetti. She made her debut in 2018 in IndyCar, driving for Team Penske, and would actually go on to win a race that season. Scored a few points here and there as well to make it P10 in the championship that season, just behind one certain Rowan Shotanus and Will Parrish. But she would finish second best in what was a three-car team. It would actually be Emil Nilsson who would go on to finish P2 in that IndyCar season. Either way, finishing P10 in IndyCar would see Konnichiwa earn a call-up into Formula 2 in 2019 with ART Grand Prix partnering longtime driver Jean-Francois Bilot. She had an absolutely fantastic season, scoring P4 at Bahrain and then a P2 in Barcelona. She'd follow it up with 2 more points finishes at Mugello in France to take a very, very good championship lead, and she'd actually hold it all the way up until round 8, I do believe it was, somewhere around there, where she lost it to Emil Nilsson. But she had she did a fantastic and really consistent performance through Formula 2. But ultimately, heading into the final round, she just fell short of Will Parrish, who had an incredible late season charge and would go on to win the championship 7 points ahead of Konishina. So Emilia, finishing second, would be promoted to Formula 1 with Alfa Romeo following her Orlen connections, obviously, as she'd carry on the Formula 2 sponsor to the F1 team, and now makes her debut alongside fellow F2 driver Daniel Wale. And safe to say, even though Alfa Romeo did opt for another all-rookie lineup, or not all-rookie lineup, but an all-rookie lineup, it has actually paid off quite substantially. Their car isn't as quick as it was last season by how it looks, but Wale and Konishina have not been too bad of a combo, especially Daniel Wale, who's been doing fantastically, even though Konishina had the upper hand on the Chinese driver in Formula 2. So they have been doing quite well, safe to say. And even though Konnichiwa only does have 1 point to her name and some quite bad luck, we'll see what the future will hold for the Polish driver. As we're having the times coming in on the board, there goes Dennis Groff up into second. Behind Enis Paratsky at the moment, Kulasek has actually gone ahead of Alfred Klaus. Once again, a very, very good showing from the Renault driver. As there's Thomas Mandic across the line. Not the best qualifying for him, as he's behind Nilsson and Victor Albom, which is, I mean, great to see from Victor Albom. Really, really good lap from him. As Chereshnia goes across the line, can't match his teammate, and he's behind Blackwood at the moment. I don't know what's going on with Haas, but they're doing fantastically. The Ferrari power teams are really excelling around here, as Farina and Zasnishkai are now P4 and P5. As Paratsky now leads Johansson, we're in for 2 cars to set their laps. There is Gamba across the line, up into 8th, and the final man will be Lewis McIntyre, who, oh wait, that's wrong. Oh, it's tossed. I think that's a timing glitch on our screens, but yeah, it's that is supposed to be Fernando Tost, so please ignore the fact that this says Lewis McIntyre. The timing screen is a bit bugged, I do think. But Yeah, nothing we can do about that at the moment, but sometimes these things do happen. As Tost is currently in P5 at the moment, there is Jafari Blackwood, currently in the elimination zone. Speaking of, Blackwood is accompanied by Nilsson Mandic, not anymore. Album, Nilsson, Mandic, Blackwood. Guys, come on. It's now Conditioner, Album, Mandic, and Blackwood who are in the elimination zone. The drivers really want to get in the way of my commentary today, as they all kept getting themselves out of the elimination zone. But yeah, at the moment, the two Hases, P12 and P15, Emilia Konishina is just on the edge of making it in, as Enis Parachki improves his advantage over the field. Franco Gamba goes up into P6. So good stuff from the Renault driver, as both Renaults are at the moment into Q3. Jafari Blackwood just starts his lap as he heads into turn number 1. The man who has improved his racecraft quite a lot throughout the season. Obviously, it's not been points for the Jamaican, unfortunately, apart from one at the Eiffel Grand Prix, as I did previously mention. He's done very, very well in races and has been quite a good performer recently. So even though Albom is beating him once again, I think it's safe to say that Haas maybe will put the confidence in the Jamaican for another season. As Cherezhnia now goes up into P8. Nice stuff from Kai, as he actually ties the time with Wojtek Kulasek, but he is just incrementally faster, as we do know. But yeah, good stuff from Cherezhnia, as Mandic is in the elimination zone, which is quite unlike him, as he is down in P14. There goes Alfred Klaus up into P8, who is just out of the 121s, as Jafari Blackwood goes up into 11th. Close but no cigar for the Jamaican to get himself into Q3. Either way, a great lap from the Haas driver, as he gets himself ahead of both his teammate and Emilia Konishina. Fantastic stuff from Jafari Blackwood. And he will be very, very happy about that. Question is if we're going to get any improvements from the very back of the field at the moment. Nilsson and Mandic are the two I'm wondering about, considering they're also quite a lot more up than they usually are in qualifying. As Blackwood goes through the S's, he's gonna hope for an improvement here, as he heads down the back straight down to turn number 12. And Jafari comes into the pit lane, so he won't continue in this session. Bit of a shame to see. Either way, pretty good performance from him. As we're now looking at Emil Nilsson, it's going to be important for him to improve here. He might just get another lap in if he's lucky here, as he's going to go across the line. Nilsson does improve, but unfortunately for him, it is only P14 at the moment, as Labas as Nishkai goes up into 3rd. Lovely stuff from Laban, as the pace is really there for Ferrari here at Mexico. So yeah, lovely stuff from Ferrari, as the checker flag is now fallen. Thomas Mandic is P15. Can he get himself into Q3? Yes, he can! And up into 8th goes Mandic, and through into Q3. goes the Croatian, as both Racing Points are now into Q3. Wojtek Kulasek is just going to be out of it as he's knocked into the elimination zone now, as he is out. I do think this is going to be how it ends for a lot of these guys, unless Victor Albom and Emil Nilsson can do anything. Let's see Albom then, as he's going to go across the line, and Victor can unfortunately not do it, and it will be P14 for him. Either way, valiant effort from both of the Hasses today here in qualifying, as Emil Nilsson will be the final man across the line, and he's just going to have to hope to be able to get himself into Q3, considering how impressive his performances have been this season, as he's going to go across the line, and it's 7th for Nilsson. Beautiful lap from the Alpha Tauri, and he is through into Q3. Racing Points have been denied a double Q3 appearance by none other than the young Estonian Emil Nilsson. Fantastic stuff from him once again, as Nilsson is through into Q3, and that is Q2 done and dusted. Edis Parachki once again takes the fastest spot, and your bottom 5, it will be Kai Sherezhnia, Wojtek Kulasek, Jafari Blackwood, Emilia Konichina, and Victor Albom. So that is Q2 done and dusted. A very hectic Q2, I have to say. That was quite exciting. Very, very well done from Emil Nilsson, and the 2 Ferraris as well. Labas Nishai up there in 3rd. If he carries this pace onto Q3, who knows what Ferraris are going to achieve today. So, yeah, very well done from them. Blackwood and Albom couldn't really make it into Q3, but still, P13 for Jafari Blackwood is a very respectable performance, and if he does get lucky, who knows, we could see a good race performance from the Jamaican. Kai Sherezhnia will be a bit frustrated with the P11, considering he was just knocked out at the end. But outside the top 10, will be less pressure for the pole. So we'll see, obviously, especially considering his rival in the midfield at the moment, Lewis McIntyre, whom he is tied on points with, is down in P17. So expectations will be a bit less for Kai at the moment. And then Wojtek Kulasek as well. Renault, the other team not to get both of their cars into Q3 either. So, yeah, it's a bit of a shame for Renault as well. Either way, then it's going to be interesting to see how Q3 is going to play out. Mercedes have topped the Q1 and Q2 sessions as they always do, with Parachki taking the fastest spot in both of those sessions. As we are now here in Q3. Pit lane a bit quiet at the moment, as no cars are out on track at the moment. Usually we have someone going out immediately at the start, but oh, there we go. And Enes Parachki eager to get started as he makes his way out to the pit lane in the very, very beautiful black, teal, and red Mercedes. Have to say, it is looking really, really mean, that livery. And yeah, it just looks fantastic. I really have no words for it. And Enes Parachki has piloted that machine to 5 wins this season, which is the most out of any driver, I should mention, so far, which I wasn't even aware of heading into this race. Johansson sits on 4, Graf only sits on 2, which, judging by his performances this season, I am absolutely shocked to think that he only has 2 race wins. Klaus only has 1, which is not like Alfred Klaus at all, and Parachki has snapped up the rest, which really goes to show on his day he is an absolutely fantastic performer, and he has been having an incredibly good run of form this season. And now that he's properly in the championship, mathematically, Parachi can take the lead of the championship in this round, as we're going to go on board with Dennis Parachi for a lap of the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez, going across the line then, and going down the very, very long start-finish straight, down into the run, into the first braking zone, where we're going to see a lot of battles kick off into turn 1. Very, very sharp right-hander into the left and right of 2 and 3. Easy to run wide into turn number 1, so you want to make sure to not do that, as you can carry the battles on down its DRS zone through turn 3 and into the next sharp braking zone, turn number 4, through the left and into the right of turn number 5, then through this little triangle corner, as I like to call it, turn 6, double apexes through that corner, and now then into sector 2, which becomes a lot more flowing as you have a bunch of left-right corners come at you at very, very high speeds. Lovely to see the F1 cars just attack these corners at full speed. Out of turn number 11 then, down the start-finish straight into arguably what is my favorite sector, or one of my favorite sectors in Formula 1, into sector 3, the more tight and technical, as you can hear the roars of the stadium crowd then through the stadium section, through turn 15, and then into the tricky left-handers of 16 and 17, down on the power then, as you go across the line, and it is a 1:22.1 to finish up a lap of the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez here at Mexico with Dennis Parachi. It is a 1:22.141. Not the greatest of laps, I would have to say, for Dennis Parachi. If he does manage an improvement, I do think it could be the pole time, but I do think that lap is going to be beaten, especially when you take in things like track temperature and tire deg and whatnot. As Jesper Johansson, I was right, Jesper Johansson immediately beats the lap. It's a 1:21.9 from the Super Swede as he tops his teammate. There goes Dennis Graf ahead of Dennis Parachi as well. He can't quite match Johansson and go into the 1:21s, but it will be second for him at the moment. Luca Farina is 7th with Laban Zasnishka in 5th. So Ferrari, I think, not the pace in Q1 and QT isn't there for them at the moment, but still 3 minutes to go, they could squeeze out maybe a lap or two, as Klaus now goes up into 3rd with a 1:22.066. He's 2 thousandths off Dennis Graf in qualifying. Great stuff from the 2 Red Bulls, but not able to challenge the Super Swede himself, Jesper Johansson, who currently is on provisional pole at the moment. Obviously, looking at the previous pole sitters at this track in 2018, it was none other than Jesper Johansson who rekindled his title charge back in 2018. Last year, it was Luca Farina, obviously, for Ferrari, who was filling in for Miran Evji. And now, within 2 minutes, we will have the 2020 pole sitter decided, as Alfred Klaus is looking to take that spot, obviously, and earn that title as he heads down the start-finish straight. Luca Farina improves, currently behind his teammate Laban Zasnishka, as Klaus now heads through the stadium section. Not looking to be an improvement for Klaus at the moment, so we'll see what's going to happen. Round the final corner then, Alfred Klaus goes ahead of his teammates and up into 2nd. Good stuff from Klaus, as he will get himself onto the front row with that lap, but still not close to Jesper Johansson. Over a 10th separates Johansson and Klaus at the moment. With 1:20 to go though, this is really interesting. This is very, very interesting. I just noticed Johansson, Graf and Parachi are all in the pits. They're not going out again. So I really wonder what on earth is going on. Klaus is the only man out. He's the only person who can take pole position, and if he isn't able to, Jesper Johansson will be on pole. And that is really bizarre. I haven't seen anything like that in a very, very long time. So essentially what you're watching now is Klaus just trying to improve as best as he can. And through the middle sector, 102.5 is the time to beat. In the middle sector is 1/10 off, so I don't think it's going to be an improvement for Alfred Klaus as he rounds the stadium section now. He's going to have to get this absolutely perfect as he rounds the 2 final corners. Let's see what it will be for Alfred Klaus then as he rounds the final corner. It is an improvement for Alfred Klaus. He had a very good third sector and he gets himself marginally closer to Jesper Johansson. Now he's going to have one final lap to do, and then we will see if he is going to be able to dethrone Jesper Johansson of pole, which will be needed, especially considering Red Bull are fighting Mercedes in the championship. As the checker flag has now fallen, 6 cars we're waiting on to cross the line. Oh, bit of a mistake there for Fernando, tossed into the braking. Think it was a lockup, but he looked a bit squirrely heading into turn number 12, and that's ruined the pole's lap as he will not be improving on that lap, and he will be P9. Next man across the line, it will be the man who took pole here last season, Luca Farina, who will go across the line. Now let's see if he's going to be able to improve. No improvement for Farina. What about Thomas Mandic? He's running a very, very good 6th at the moment, as they will head in as he heads into the pit lane. So it will be P6 for Mandic, a fantastic performance from the Croatian, and Racing Point will be licking their lips heading out of qualifying and in the race that follows. Klaus improves. It's not the pole for Alfred Klaus here at Mexico City, and once again Jesper Johansson has done it at Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez in qualifying. This track, as we always know, has been an absolute favorite for him, as Fernando Tost, I believe, did just get another lap, and nope, he didn't, and that means that on pole position for the Mexican Grand Prix, Jesper Johansson claims his 2nd pole here at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. Right, Q3 done and dusted. Qualifying is over. Johansson, once again, a brilliant showing from the Swede. That is the Swede's 4th consecutive pole so far, which is well, absolutely incredible to say the least. Johansson's late season form, as we always know, is just something to be feared by other drivers. But he takes pole ahead of the 2 Red Bulls. So Parachki just didn't seem to nail it in Q3. So Johansson is going to face pressure from both Klaus and Graf, who are both going to be trying to pester the Swede. So we will see if they will be able to do anything, as Parachki will be starting 4th. He'll be trying to get a good start off the line as well. And then you have Gamba and Mandic up there fighting. They're going to be fighting in the midfield. And then the 2 Ferraris didn't really live up to the hype, as we were talking about in Q1 and Q2, as they are P7 and P8. So yeah, we will have to wait to see what they'll be able to do in the race. Tossed the 9th for McLaren. So yeah, I think they have. Think it is a bit of a qualifying to forget 9th and 17th. So yeah, we'll see if they're going to be able. They're going to be able to make it up in the race. Hopefully, they should be able to. We know McIntyre is a very, very good race before, so we'll see what he's going to be able to As we are now here then for the starting grid. We're here before lights out for the Mexican Grand Prix, and on pole position it is Jesper Johansson who takes his 4th consecutive pole, and ahead of him it is, or not ahead of him, sorry, behind him is Alfred Klaus, who will accompany him on the front row. Sorry, Dennis Groff will be 3rd, as Enes Paraschke will be in P4, with Franco Gamba starting P5, and then Tomas Mandic will be behind him in P6. The 2 Ferraris are P7 and P8, as Agnieszka leads Farina. Then it is Fernando Tost in P9, with Emil Nilsson rounding out the top 10. Kai Cherezhnia starts in P11, with Wojtek Kulasek in P12. Then it is Jafari Black with a good 13th for Jamaican, as Emilia Konechina is in between the 2 Hasses, as Victor Albom lines up in P15. Daniel Wale will be 16th, with Lewis McIntyre in 17th, as Samet Özkan will be taking P18. And the final 2 spots on the grid will be taken by the 2 Williams drivers of Josef Frederic Schuto and Giulia Cesetti. Right then, let's go down to the grid then for the 3rd running of the Mexican Grand Prix, as the lights are coming on. Johansson on pole position. And we're underway here at Mexico. Bad start for Johansson. He doesn't get the jump. And immediately Klaus is going to take advantage of that, as it's a bit of a hectic start. Are they going to be 3 wide heading into turn number 1? I just think they are, as Groff gets the jump as well. Johansson might have to back out of that, as Groff is going to be there on the inside line. Alfred Klaus takes the lead of the Mexican Grand Prix, and this is not what Jesper Johansson needs, as Paraschke is fighting Mandic for 4th. Zasnishka has got a very, very good start, as Groff is going to have to slot in behind for 3rd. He's going to have a look on the outside line, as Mandic is jostling Paraschke for position, but Klaus got the jump that he needed. Johansson had to back out of it at the start, not to make it 3 wide, but Dennis is going to try to fight to try and get himself out of Jesper. There is Cherezhnia fighting with that's Franco Gamba, the 2 former teammates, going at it against each other through the S's, as Cherezhnia is going to have the outside line. Franco will get the inside, and that is going to give him the position most likely, but no, Kai will keep it side by side with him heading into the stadium section, as it will be Cherezhnia around the outside, but he does get it covered off. There's Nilsson though on the inside line at the Polish driver, as the 2 will be wheel to wheel, not quite, as it is going to be Cherezhnia who is successfully able to defend from the Estonian. A very hectic lap 1 then here at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. There is Samet Özkan fighting Josef Frederic Schuto. Schuto, who has had quite a good start. McIntyre has dropped back positions to 19th place. There, down the inside, goes Wojtek Kulasek on Luka Farina, as the 2 will be wheel to wheel. Kulasek on the outside line as they go side by side then. Heading down into turn number 4, it's going to be Farina on the inside line. He does get the better run compared to him. Is Wojtek still going to be able to carry on the opportunity? No, Farina is going to go on to the offense. He's going to try to go around the outside of Emil Nilsson, but I don't think that's going to work. Farina though is still adamant to try and make it stick there on the outside line. Emil leaves the space, and he's actually gone up and alongside the AlphaTauri here, as the 2 go wheel to wheel through the S's. Opportunistic move from Luca Farina, but it doesn't work for the Italian, and Nilsson will hold 10th as Wale fends off Jafari Blackwood then for position. Daniel Wale will remain in P14, but Jafari is going to get the better exit compared to the Chinese driver, and he's going to go to the inside line of Daniel heading into the hairpin, or not the hairpin, the stadium section. He can't do it, as Victor Albom fighting off Samet Özkan. Özkan, who is on a charge here through the field, as Alfred Klaus now says the fastest lap of the race. Really, really good start from Alfred Klaus, as he leads by 4/10 from Jesper Johansson, as here we see Albom and Özkan side by side. Josef Frederic Schuto might try and get involved and make it 3 wide. He's gonna make it 3 wide heading into turn number 1, as it's gonna be Özkan Album and Shuto all side by side. There's contact, but there's still 3 wide as Shuto is there on the inside line. You haven't seen a midfield battle like this for P16. It's absolutely incredible as Shuto is going to be side by side with Album. Özkan backs out of it as Shuto is there on the inside line. McIntyre is going to try to get the Swede now as Shuto is there on the outside line, side by side with the Dane in the Haas as they go wheel to wheel through and into the SS. I think it is going to be Josef Fredrik Schuto who is going to cover him off, and if he does it, it will be most likely overtaken the season, and he does it. Josef Fredrik Schuto take a bow up into 16th. No idea how that didn't end up in tears. Incredible battling between all the drivers involved, and it is going to be Victor Album having to settle for 16th or 17th, and Shuto all the way up into 16th there, as Dennis Groff now says the fastest lap of the race. I am losing my breath here, ladies and gentlemen, as Jesper Johansson is going to have the DRS now to strike onto Alfred Klaus for the race lead, heading into turn number 1. He's going to try and go wheel to wheel with his fellow Swedish compatriot, but he isn't close enough, or is he? I don't think he is. He isn't, and he will stay behind for the time being. There's McIntyre going down the inside, and there's between McIntyre and Özkan. Bit of a sloppy move from the Brit onto the Alpha Tauri. That might be damage for Samet Özkan, hopefully not, but still not the greatest of moves from McIntyre. The two are still going to be side by side as we head through turn 6, now into turn number 6. It's going to be McIntyre on the inside line as the two go wheel to wheel. Album on the inside, or not Album, sorry, Özkan on the inside line, and Samet is dropping positions here. If McIntyre is able to get this as the two go side by side, and it is gonna be Samet Özkan who just about holds ahead, but McIntyre is still up and alongside the AlphaTauri as the two go wheel to wheel into the stadium section, and Özkan will defend from Lewis McIntyre. A bit naughty from him, as now heading on to lap 5, Jesper Johansson will be getting the DRS once again. Is he gonna strike on Alfred Klaus? Here he goes then to the inside line of Klaus as the two go wheel to wheel. Klaus gets the better exit to turn 1 into turns 2 and 3. Jesper is just about able to keep it wheel to wheel with the Swede as they're gonna head down into turn number 4. It's from the outside. He switches to the inside line, trying to bait him. There's been a crash at the back, but we can't look at that right now as Johansson is on the outside line and Klaus will get it. Now what has happened to Samet Özkan, and he's into the wall, into turn number 3, that looks like. So this is Özkan going to the inside line of Victor Album into turn number 1. Everything fine on the right here, but he taps the side of Victor Album and just into the wall for Özkan. Bit of a sloppy move, just like how McIntyre did on him. He does a bit of the same, but it wasn't as aggressive. Unfortunately, that's going to put him out of the race. Samet Özkan being first DNFer of the session to what has been a very unlucky season for Samet Özkan, as Johansson still chasing down the Red Bull of Alfred Klaus for the race lead. It's been a very, very exciting Mexican GP so far, as we're heading through turn 16 and 17. It's going to have the DRS now. It's going to be the time to strike for Johansson, as the DRS will be engaged now for him. Enes Parachki has now set the fastest lap of the race, as here comes Jesper Johansson to the inside line of Alfred Klaus. Will it work this time? I don't think it will. Heading into turn number 2, he's trying to keep it level with the Red Bull as the two go side by side. Will Johansson get the DRS? No, he doesn't. No DRS for Jesper, but into turn 3, he's there on the outside line, and he's going to try to make it inside. Klaus jumps over the curb, and he's going to be forced to the lesser outside line, and he does it. Jesper Johansson retakes the lead of the Mexican Grand Prix, and lovely stuff once again from Jesper Johansson, majestically driven from the Super Swede. As always, Klaus will now go from defense to offense to try and retake the race lead away from the Mercedes driver, as Blackwood and Wale go side by side now through the SS. It's the Alfa Romeo versus the Haas as they go side by side, and it is going to be Blackwood who gets the better exit to keep it wheel to wheel. Great battles between the two, as I have to say the midfield, the lower midfield especially, has been on fire today, as Blackwood goes to the inside line of Daniel Wale, and he's going to get it done as Jesper Johansson now says the fastest lap of the race. And he's immediately a second ahead of Alfred Klaus. The pace is really there for Johansson at the moment, as we're now looking at Franco Gamba, who's going to try to get Fernando Tost down the inside of the Polish driver. Goes Franco Gamba, but he goes over the curb, and that's not going to help him a lot, as he is currently ahead of Kai Cherezhnia at the moment, which is pretty good for Gamba, considering he's fighting Cherezhnia in the midfield at the moment. Kaido is not going to have any of it, as he's going to go to the outside of Franco Gamba. It's going to give him the inside line through turn number 5 and into turn 6. He's still going to have the inside line. Franco fights valiantly on the outside line then, as now they're gonna dance through the SS, as Cherezhnia's gonna have the inside line, switches to the outside, he gets it done on Franco Gamba, and Cherezhnia up into 8th. Here comes Dennis Groff on the inside line of Alfred Klaus. Klaus might be dropping here, as Groff can't do it. His teammate is holding him up here, and that is gonna be great news for Jesper Johansson, as Klaus is not willing to let his teammate pass, but I feel like sooner or later he's not going to have a choice, because Groff is going to get the DRS here, and he's going to go down the start-finish straight and try and line up a move into turn number 1. Parachi as well is going to have to hope that Dennis stays behind as we head into turn number 1. Dennis cannot do it on Klaus, as the two will just about be side by side. No, they're not side by side. My eyes are deceiving me here, as Parachi has now closed in to Dennis Groff. Look at this. And Parachi obviously still is going to be fighting for the championship here, and trying to get himself at least up in the second, as Farina is going to jostle Emil Nilsson for points paying positions, as Farina, clean move for the Italian as he gets himself up into P10. And now up ahead the road is the man in the Renault, his fellow compatriot Franco Gamba, so we'll see if we'll be able to get involved into this. Meanwhile, 4 positions up ahead is Laban Zasnishkai, who is chasing down Thomas Mandis for P5. Laban Zasnishkai is on fire at the moment in P6 there. Mandis as well has had a really solid start there in P5, as we're now going to head down the start-finish straight. Parashki looking very, very close to the back of Dennis Groff, so we'll see if he's going to be able to do anything now, but Groff, this is definitely going to be the time to strike for the champion, and here he goes then on his teammate, heading into turn number 1. He's going to be side by side with Klaus, as he's going to try to get up at the second to try and challenge Jesper Johansson. Klaus is going to try and fight his teammate here. There in the back, I believe, is Zasnishka and Mandic, who were just battling. But Groff, look at this, he can't do it on Alfred Klaus. He's going to have a look, though, once again into turn number 6. Klaus leaves the space, as Groff is having looks absolutely everywhere on his teammate here. Klaus is going to fight him off, though, on the inside line. Great battling between the two Red Bulls, but Groff is going to be furious here at Mexico, especially considering he has a championship to win here, as Johansson is just pulling away and away and away. And it's not good as well, considering Parashi is catching up, but into the stadium section, Groff is going to go on the inside line. Parashi is going to try to find the opportunity to do something here. He can't, as Klaus holds off the inside line then. Incredible defending from Alfred Klaus. I have to say, I don't see a reason on why he's supposed to do it, considering the logical choice will be to let Groff by, but Klaus is defending for his life from his teammate today. As we're going to head into turn 1, and look at this, Dennis, I don't even think he's close enough to try anything into turn number 1. He isn't. He doesn't try it into turn 1. Klaus, it's a defending masterclass from the Swede in the most unlikely positions, as here comes Kulasek down the inside line of Emil Nilsson. Nilsson does not want to go back any further after Farina was able to get past the Estonian, as the two will go side by side then, heading into turn number 4. Kulasek using all the space available to him on the outside line there. He's going to switch to the inside line as Graf is still trying to get past Alfred Klaus. Nothing he can do there though at the moment, heading into the SS. As through the SS they go, you can see how close these three are fighting away for second. To see as we head into the stadium section, Graf gonna have a cheeky look on his teammates. Not yet, as I think Parachki ran a bit wide through the stadium section. Bit difficult to follow cars through there. It's been evident with a lot of these guys. As we head down the start-finish straight now, another lap, another opportunity for Dennis Graf to try it on Alfred Klaus. Heading into turn 1, here comes Dennis Graf, as the two Red Bulls will fight once again, as Klaus holds him off on the outside line. Can Dennis do it? No, it is gonna be Klaus. No, not quite. Graf is still there. Alfred leaves the space for his teammate to go on the outside line, and I think it may just work for Dennis Graf this time as he goes to the inside line, and I think he finally does it. Yes, it is gonna be Dennis Graf finally through on his teammate into second, and already within DRS range of Jesper Johansson, as we see Emilia Konishina and Emil Nilsson, the two F2 championship rivals, fighting away with each other, as Konishina's gonna have a look on the outside line, but it won't come into fruition for the pole, as she's gonna have to stay behind for 13th. Parachki now is gonna be he's gonna be the next man to get past Alfred Klaus, so we'll see what's gonna happen. Here comes Daniel Waller though with a late move on Jafari Blackwood. I don't think it's gonna work for Daniel, and it will not, as he will have to stay behind. Dennis Graf then go past Alfred Klaus, now puts his sights to Jesper Johansson to try and get past. Here comes Kai Cherezhnia on his fellow compatriot Fernando Tost, as he's going to go to the inside line of the two will be wheel to wheel, as Cherezhnia is going to try and get past the struggling McLaren driver in 7th. Cherezhnia has been doing very, very well this race, it has to be said. Starting in P11, he's going to try and get himself up into P7 here as Tost goes over the curb. That's going to give Cherezhnia the advantage that he needs. And up into 7th goes Kai Cherezhnia. Move is done, and that's Nilsson, and he's through. He's round at turn 4. He's going to try to re-enter. Watch out, Emil. Oh! And he's hit Lewis McIntyre, and the race has gone from bad to worse for Emil Nilsson, as he is all the way down to 17th. Now, what happened to Nilsson? And here he is, side by side with Emilia Konishina then. So Konishina been the perpetrator here. She goes to the inside line and just taps Nilsson and sends the Estonian round. And Nilsson re-enters quite dangerously into McIntyre. So while it is Konishina's doing on the inside there, Nilsson should have been a bit more careful on the re-entry there. As Parachki is chasing down Klaus, and the two people that have joined this battle, Thomas Mandic and Laban Zasnishkai, have now joined the lead battle. This is incredible to see, as Klaus is going to have the advantage of the DRS to at least hold him ahead. So he's going to be able to play rear gunner to Dennis Graf here to stop the advance of Enis Parashki then, who currently is in 4th. As Fernando Tost still on the back of Kai Chereznias. Chereznias out of the DRS. Here's Giulia Cesetti, who's going to try to get past Emil Nilsson now, heading turn number 1. They will be wheel to wheel. Can Cesetti try and get past? No, she can't. Not yet. As Nilsson's going to go into Victor Albo. As the two will go side by side. Victor's going to try and go defensive into turn number 3. As Albom jumps over the curb. 2 will be wheel to wheel, and Nilsson does get it done on Victor Albom. Nice stuff from Emil. Bit of a shame for Nilsson, especially that spin, as the battling is still quite close here in the bottom 3 positions, which is quite strange, but yeah, there you go. So they head through the final corner. Let's see if Albom's going to be able to strike on Emil Nilsson then, as he is looking very, very to the back of the stricken AlphaTauri. He's going to go to the inside line. He's going to get the DRS, and he should be able to breeze past and get it done before the corner. And he does get it done before heading into turn number 1. So Victor Albom through into 17th once again. Nice stuff then from Albom, but guess it is like beating a dead horse a bit. Getting past the car with damage. As Luca Farina has caught up to Franco Gamba, the man who earlier got past Emil Nilsson for P10, is actually up. He's only 5/10 off him at the moment. As there's Cesetti with a late move on the inside line of Nilsson. Can't quite do anything there, as she's gonna have to stay behind for a bit more. Here though is Dennis Graf, who has been chasing down Jesper Johansson, but to no avail so far. There's Enis Parachki looking very, very close to the back of Alfred Klaus. Is he gonna try anything? He goes to the inside line of Klaus. He jumps over the curb a bit though, so that's not gonna give him the greatest of opportunities. But Klaus doesn't get the best of exits to turn 5. That's gonna allow Parachki to stick on the outside line through turn number 6. As into the S's, they will go wheel to wheel, as Parachki is gonna try to get them done in the flashiest way possible, as they're gonna be side by side. Klaus just holds it on the outside line, and Ennis can't do it unless he does get a good run. It looks like he's got a good run to me, but is he going to be able to try anything? Late lunge doesn't work though for the Mercedes driver, and he will be staying in P4. And now Mandic is getting very, very close here in P5. Opportunistic stuff from Parachki. Couldn't quite work out in the end though, which is a shame, but he does look to be quite a lot faster than Klaus on track at the moment. As we head out turn number 3, Parachki then is going to try to get Alfred Klaus, but he isn't close enough at the moment. He might have to start worrying about Thomas Mandic, who's actually going to have a look on the inside of Enis Parachki. That racing point is looking rapid today, it has to be said, as Mandic is fighting for P4 and possibly even P3 in this race, which is nothing short of incredible. As heading through the SS, Fernando Tost and Kai Chereznia, who might come to blows once again, fighting P7. Let's see what's going to happen there then, as Enes Paraschke will now have his opportunity to strike, considering Klaus has just fallen out of DRS range. Let's see what Paraschke is going to be able to do, heading down the start-finish straight and into turn number 1. DRS active for Enes Paraschke then, heading into turn number 1. Let's see what he's going to be able to do then, heading through into turn 1. He's gonna go up and alongside the Red Bull driver as they go wheel to wheel into turn number 2. Paraschke just keeps it side by side with Alfred Klaus. Let's see if he's gonna be able to do it. Then heading into turn 3, the outside line, the more favorable one, as we do know, but I don't think he's close enough into turn 3, and he isn't. Klaus shuts the door, and thus it's gonna be Paraschke who's gonna remain behind, having a look on the inside line there for Enes Paraschke, but he isn't able to get ahead of Alfred Klaus yet. Halfway distance already covered in this race, and as we're on lap 17 of 38, Jesper Johansson has been leading ever since he took back the race lead from Alfred Klaus, who's now fallen down to 3rd, as Dennis Groff has been unsuccessful in his hunts to try and chase down Jesper Johansson. Looking at Enes Paraschke then, heading down the start-finish straight. Is he close enough for a move? Looks a bit further back, and he does not do it. He's not close enough to attempt an overtake on Enes Paraschke, so he's going to stay behind then through turn number 3. Into turn 4, he could maybe try something. Does get close enough, but I do doubt it. And into turn 4, no opportunity coming up for him at the moment. As we head through the S's, let's see what they're going to be able to do then. Into the stadium section, Paraschke getting very, very close, under braking then. Obviously he's going to need a podium now. And obviously not only to get past Alfred Klaus with the podium, but also to be able to chase down Dennis and his teammate Johansson, considering Paraschke, after Portimao, now has a title to fight for. So these final 4 races of the season are just going to be more and more important for him, as he's going to go to the inside line of Alfred Klaus. Is he going to succeed with it though into turn 2? I don't think he can do it. And yeah, Paraschke will have to stay behind for the time being. I think he just has to collect himself and try and get as close as possible, as there is Tost on Chereznia, but Chereznia is gonna remain ahead of Fernando Tost, but Tost is gonna have a look on the inside line of this racing. Can't do anything though, as Kai will remain ahead, as there's Paraschke having a look on the outside line through the SS. That's not really where he try moves usually, but Enes saw the opportunity and tried to go for it. Didn't work though for him. Either way, he's got a quite good run, as he's gonna go wheel to wheel with Alfred Klaus heading into the stadium section. Can he make the move stick? I don't think so, and he doesn't. He's gonna stay behind then for the time being, but I think he is going to have a pretty good shot at trying it to turn 1 if he keeps the distance, as we're going to head through the final corner and across the line to start the new lap, and down the start finish straight to engage the DRS now. And this is going to be the prime opportunity for Enes Paraschke to try it in these coming laps, I think, as he's going to go side by side with Alfred Klaus into turn 1. He's got the massive overlap, and into turn 1 Enes Paraschke gets it done, and he is through into P3 now, and now he is finally free to chase Dennis Groff and Jesper Johansson. Good stuff from Ennis. That is what you like to see from the Macedonian. And with 18 laps to go, things are looking very good for Paraschke, as there goes Kulasek down the inside line of Luca Farina. But he isn't going to be able to do it. He was on the outside line. He switches to the inside. Lovely stuff from Kulasek. And Farina is going to try to hold on to his position as he is there on the inside line. The two are going to go wheel to wheel as Kulasek is there on the outside. And Vojta does get it done. Nice stuff from Vojta Kulasek. That was a brilliant move from the Renault driver. As Farina is still trying to defend, trying to retake the position, but there's only so much he can do, as Ennis Paraschke has now set the fastest lap of the race. He is a man on a mission today, and no one seems to be able to stop him now. It's going to be really, really interesting to see what's going to happen here, as he is immediately within DRS range of Dennis Graf. As we're looking at Josef Frederic Schuto, the Slovakian, is going to go to the inside line of the Haas of Jafari Blackwood. The two are going to go side by side here, as they're still going to be wheel to wheel then heading into. Let's see if he's going to be able to get it done then on the Jamaican, as he should be having the superior line through here at least. But no, Jafari actually does fight back through turn 4 and 5, now into 6. They're still wheel to wheel, so through the SS, we're going to see who's going to come out on top then, as Schuto's going to go through the outside, and now is going to actually get it done through the SS. Nice stuff from Josef Frederic Schuto, and he goes up into 14th. Beautiful stuff from him, as we're now looking at Thomas Mandic. Oh, this is a bit of payback, as Mandic is now in the DRS zone of his former Red Bull teammate and the man who beat him last season, Alfred Klaus. As this is a bit symbolic, here comes Mandic to the inside line of Alfred Klaus, as the two will go wheel to wheel. And into turn number 4, it's going to be Mandic on the outside line, as the two former teammates go side by side. Mandic's going to have the outside line through turn number 4. Klaus goes over the curb and into turn 5. Mandic wraps it up beautifully, as it only takes him one attempt to get past the Red Bull of Alfred Klaus. Beautiful stuff from Mandic as he clears the Red Bull. Wow, that's one way to spit in the face of your former team, as Blackwood and Schuto battle once again. Blackwood is going to go around the outside line of Josef Frederic Schuto. The two go wheel to wheel then, heading into turn number 11, or 7, sorry, what am I saying? 11 is the end of the SS, 7 is the beginning of it, as they're still wheel to wheel then. Schuto will remain ahead of Blackwood. As there goes Blackwood then down the inside line of Josef Frederic, as they're still gonna battle with each other. Luke McIntyre in the battle, as he's trying to go wheel to wheel with the Jamaican into the final corner. McIntyre's down the inside line, but it is a bit sloppy through turn 16, and he isn't able to get the move done through 16 and 17. As we're now looking at Fernando Tost, who is chasing down Kai Chereznia, still on the back of the pole. Nothing has really happened there, as Cesetti is chasing down Victor Albom. These two, who, for those who remember, actually collided with each other all the way back in the... was it the 2017 Japanese Grand Prix, where both of these collided at 130R, I believe it was. It was a very, very big accident for both of them. We'll see both of them out of the race as Paratsky is chasing down Dennis Groff. Zasnishkai is now on the back of Alfred Klaus. I don't know what's wrong with that Red Bull, but Klaus just does not have the pace to be able to contend at the moment. As Laban Zasnishkai is gonna go to the inside of Alfred Klaus. The two will go wheel to wheel, as I don't think Klaus had a Ferrari overtake in a very, very long while. But Zasnishkai cannot do it. So Laban is going to have to wait a bit more then, as Cesetti is chasing down Victor Album. Wheel to wheel they will go, as Cesetti heads into turn 1 side line. Can't do it, or she can't do it, sorry, through turns 2 and 3. So she's going to have to stay behind the Dane at the moment. They're going a bit further up the field. We're looking at Fernando Tost, who is chasing down Kai Cherezhnia. Still on the back of the pole, as behind is the two Renaults of Gamba and Kulasek. And then Luca Farina is the final man on the train furthest back, as Zasnishkai is going to try to go onto Klaus again. Stays behind into turn number 1. So nothing happening there just yet. There's Tost looking for the way past Cherezhnia. Can't find the way at the moment though. There's Cesetti and Album once again fighting with each other. Cesetti's gonna go to the inside line. Album's gonna have covering her off on the outside line, as they will be wheel to wheel heading down turn number 3, and it is gonna be Album who is gonna remain ahead of Giulia Cesetti, as Cesetti's gonna have another look on the inside line, but Album will hold her off for the time being. Laban Zasnishkai, will he be able to get past Klaus this time? Don't think he will. I think the car difference for Laban is just simply too great to get past. Mind you, that Ferrari is miles off the Red Bull, so the fact that Laban is even able to keep up with Klaus is incredible. To say the least. There's Shuto, and he makes contact with Daniel Wale, and Josef Federico is into the wall in turn number 2. Just like Samet Özkan, he is out of the Mexican Grand Prix as he makes contact with Daniel Wale after a misjudged move. He is out and becomes the second DNFer, and that is a very, very big shame for Josef Frederick Schuto, as he is out. The show must go on then, as there's only one Williams remaining. We're once again looking at the battle between Tost and Cherezhnia. As Alfred Klaus is actually on the back of Thomas Mandic here. Mandic has not been able to catch up to Paratsky and co, so he's just been kind of stuck there in his own little race, and Klaus has finally actually caught up to Mandic, so he might try and take revenge and get back into some positions. But there is Gamba onto Tost as he's going to go to the inside line. Franco, though, jumps over the curb. And I don't think he can do it. It's a turn 6. He's going to have a look on the inside line, though, to try and go wheel to wheel with Tost, but he cannot do it. And Gamba will remain behind Tost for the time being. So Franco Gamba doesn't want to finish 9th, obviously. He wants to try and get up a few positions. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what he's going to be able to do as Enis Parachki is chasing down Dennis Groff now. As Groff is just within the DRS range of Jesper Johansson. It's not good for Parachki, obviously. He'd prefer to have Groff outside of it. So Dennis won't get the DRS. So yeah, we'll see. Groff's teammate Alfred Klaus fighting P4 with his former teammate Thomas Mandic. As we head into turn 3, Tost still on the back of Kai Chereshnia. Nothing happening between those two, but the Renaults behind, I have to say, are looking feisty to try and positions. As there goes Chisetti onto Album once again. These have been battling for what feels like an eternity at this point, as they go side by side through turn 3. And Chisetti is going to go to the inside. Oh, taps Album out of the way. That's a bit naughty from Chisetti, but the two will go side by side, as it's going to be Chisetti on the outside, wheel to wheel. The two will go into the SS. She's going to have the inside line, and she gets the move done, albeit a bit controversial. Chisetti will be up at the 16th. As Klaus is trying to go on to Thomas Mandic here. So Mandic is going to have to go on the defense now. So we will see what is going to happen. As Mandic does defend for the time being. Here comes Lewis McIntyre on to Jafari Blackwood, as the two will go wheel to wheel. As McIntyre trying to find a way past Blackwood. He's going to go to the inside line. 5. Jafari on the outside into turn 6 as well. Going to leave the space for Lewis as the two go side by side. Then into turn 7. It's going to be Blackwood on the inside. McIntyre has to go the long way around as they go side by side. And it is going to be Blackwood who remains ahead of Lewis McIntyre then. Tost chasing down Chereshnia into turn 1, getting very, very close to run a bit wide as a result of not going into the back of him. As Kulasek runs a bit wide, maybe trying to adjust his line there. But Farina is going to try to take an opportunity of that to go down the inside line of Kulasek and try to break this little train, as he's having a look on the inside line through the SS. No space though for Luca, and he's going to remain behind in P11. As we head into the stadium section, Farina looking good on pace, but he's just remain behind these guys so much. The pace, the pace difference of these guys just kind of gets neutralized with the DRS strain. So there's not really a lot they can do. As we head out of turn number 3, not quite as we look back into turn 1, a bit further down the field. McIntyre is going to go to the inside line of Jafari Blackwood as the two go side by side. Blackwood's going to try to cover him off then, as he does so, holds the inside. McIntyre has to slot in behind, and unfortunately can't do anything, as Blackwood, smart decision, covers the inside to not let Lewis past, but he just thinks of going to the outside instead, as he's going to try to get past the Haas driver here then into the SS. He's going to be side by side with him, but Jafari should have an easier time defending. McIntyre, though, on the inside, I think should be able to actually fight with him as we head into the stadium section. Now McIntyre is going to be on the outside line, and the next corner is going to be the inside for him, and I think it's going to get him. I think he's going to get it done. He does get it done. Nice stuff from Lewis McIntyre. He will be up into 14th. As Parachki got very, very close to Groff there into turn 1. We just saw a snippet of it. But, yeah, Parachki is looking really good on the pace. The problem is he needs Groff's pace to drop a bit more and out of the DRS range from Jesper Johansson. As there is Laban Zasnishkai. On the back of Alfred Klaus. Look at Enis Parachki now. And this is prime opportunity for Enis Parachki to strike now. Dennis Groff outside of DRS range. Enis Parachki is going to want to take that second away from Dennis Groff, because whoever finishes ahead of each other is going to be P2 in the championship, and Parachki is going to want to get that, obviously. Into turn 1, though, he doesn't try anything, so he's going to stay behind. He's going to remain calm and collected on this lap at least, but there is only 5 laps to go, so he's not going to have a lot of time to do it. As we're on board with Enis, we're not on board, we're looking at Enis Parachki, who's now going to go to the inside line of Dennis Groff. He got a great run through the SS outside and heading into the stadium section. He's going to have the inside, and Enis Parachki is through for second. Great stuff from the Macedonian, and now for these 5 final laps, he's going to have to play catch-up to Jesper Johansson, which obviously is easier said than done. But we'll see now, as Parachki is going to have free air to push to try and get ahead of his teammate Jesper Johansson. And it is going to get really, really tight now, as Groff is still on the back of Parachki. So Dennis might try to launch a bit of a counter-attack. As we're looking at Fernando Tost, who still has been unsuccessful with his attempt at getting Kai Chereshnia. As Tost is having a look on the inside, can't quite get it done on Chereshnia though. Kai will remain ahead. As that will bring Franco Gamba a bit closer to his former teammate last season. Zasnishkai then very, very close to Klaus as well. Klaus, who is in the DRS on Mandic, so he's been able to hold himself ahead of Zasnishkai just about. So yeah, that is why. As lap 35 of 38, Parvatsky not looking to gain much at the moment on Jesper Johansson. So I think P2 is what he's going to have to settle for. As there, going through for P4 is Alfred Klaus. We missed this overtake. So let's see what happened then. As this is into turn number 1. And Klaus... Oh my goodness, that was a big mistake from Thomas Mandic. He had a massive lockup. That's one of the biggest lockups I've ever seen. As there's Tosto to Chereshnia, and he spins him round. Kai Chereshnia is gonna go out of the Mexican Grand Prix, and Tost has turned him around. There is gonna be one less racing point in the top 10 as Chereshnia is out of the Mexican Grand Prix. That might bring Emilia Konishina into the points as she is fighting Luca Farina now, heading into turn number 6. Can Konishina score her second point of the season as they're gonna go side by side through the SS? Let's see who's gonna get this done then, as they will be wheel to wheel. Can Konishina get it done on the Ferrari? As Farina will just hold it, but what a shame for Kai Chereshnia. He will be absolutely furious with that. And yeah, Chereshnia is out. Becomes the third DNFer of the race, which is a massive shame, as Mandic is going to retaliate onto Alfred Klaus after his mistake. And the two about wheel to wheel, but yeah, Mandic will have to remain behind for the time being. Still a very, very bizarre accident for for Mandic. Just completely cracked under pressure. As Laban Zasnishkai is now on the back of Thomas Mandic, he's putting the pressure on the Croatian. As Mandic is struggling now after his mistake. The racing driver mentality, if one driver makes a mistake, he's likely to make another. As Zasnishkai is going to want to take full advantage of that. And here's an interesting development as well. Emnis Paratsky is within DRS range of Jesper Johansson. As we start lap 37, I don't think it's close enough for Ennis. Unless Johansson has an absolutely abysmal lap and Paratsky has fastest lap pace, I think it's going to be Jesper Johansson's win for the taking here at Mexico. As Kulasek is now chasing down Franco Gamba, the two Renaults will go side by side into turn number 1. It's going to be Kulasek on the inside line as the two go wheel to wheel. As into the SS, into turn 4. Kulasek switches to the inside line. Interesting choice then, as that is going to allow Gamba to remain ahead of his teammate. Vojta's going to have a look on the outside. And is going to remain committed to the outside as the two go wheel to wheel then through the SS. Incredible battle between the two Renaults as both of them trying to get ahead of each other. You can tell the respect they've got for each other as well when they're battling away for these positions, as Kulasek is going to go on the outside line. We're now on the final lap of the race as Kulasek does get past Franco Gamba, and I don't think, now that we're on the final lap, Parachki won't be able to get Jesper Johansson into turn 1. He's not close enough, and Johansson must be breathing the biggest sigh of relief as we head through into turn 4. He closed in massively though through the corners, so we're gonna see what's gonna happen as the two Renaults go side by side once again. Gamba says it's not over as they head through turn 2 and 3 side by side. They're so close to each other as they head down the straight into turn number 4. It's gonna be Gamba on the outside line now, as they're gonna be wheel to wheel. Then Wojtek Kulasek goes over the curb. Gamba's gonna have the inside line then as we head through turn 6. Is gonna get the better exit, Wojtek Kulasek, and they're gonna be side by side through the S's once again. Gamba, I think, is just gonna get it then, as he does on the final lap of the race, but it is going to be this man who has pulled off an absolutely flawless performance to take home win number 5 of this season. Jesper Johansson wins the Mexican Grand Prix. Lovely stuff from the super Swede. Enes Parachki a really close second. I think a few more laps and he actually would have got Johansson for the race lead. But Parachki will get second in the championship with that result. Graf will be third, rounding out the podium. Lewis McIntyre disappointing P12. As we're waiting for Chisetti across the line. 13 seconds behind, a day to forget for Chisetti. Same for Album, and then Emil Nilsson as well. Massive shame for Emil Nilsson today. Really not how he wanted this race to go. But that's motorsports for you. Goes across the line, and that is it. So I will just speed through the results here because we're a bit short on time. Jesper Johansson will win the Mexican Grand Prix. Enes Parachki will be P2 with fastest lap. Dennis Graf rounds on the podium. Then it's Klaus, Mandis Nishkai, Tost Gamba, Kulasek, and then Farina rounds at the top 10. Konishina, McIntyre, Wale, then it's Black with Chisetti, Album, Nilsson, and your non-classified will be Cherezhnia, Shuto, and Özkan. That's it then. Thank you so much for watching the Mexican Grand Prix. Before we'll go, I'll give out driver of the day, and mine will be Enes Parachki, because I think from P4 on the grid, he made his way through a lot of great talents. Actually, I'm going to reconsider. Enes Parachki gets my honorable mention, but my driver of the day will be Kai Cherezhnia. Even though he had a really unlucky DNF and it was out of his hands, from P11 to P7 was absolutely fantastic from Kai. I have to say he did fantastic in the race, and it's such a shame to see that it got ripped away from him like that. But he gets my driver of the day. Either way, that's been it for the Mexican Grand Prix. Thanks so much for watching. The ACLC will return on Sunday with the Super Formula race at Qatar. Next round of Formula 1 will be the Bahrain Grand Prix at the Bahrain International Circuit for round 4. Make sure to not miss that. But until then, I have been your commentator, Miran FG. Thanks so much for watching once again, and the ACLC will return on Sunday. Thank you, and goodbye.